much, ladies and gentlemen. It's another wonderful Monday, and as you know, usually Monday is our day of getting you matters concerning legal. Yeah, we look casual because it's a holiday, but for us, we have to continue educating you. And it's myself, as usual, Winga Ruoth, and my beautiful co-host and guest.
Always beautiful. Sheillah Mengesa.
You can follow up this conversation on Mengesa Legal Talks and Winga Talks, and you'll be able to learn more. Please share, subscribe, and get someone to get this information. Thank you very much. We are picking up now. Last week in our last recording, we were talking about disposing interest in property, and you're able to look at how you can be able to what you need to do when you're acquiring property or you're disposing property. And today we're just going deeper and we're looking into now the actual processes in terms of charges,
Getting a loan
from a bank,
Yes.
and putting your title on the line, and all this stuff and things that are required, the charge registration process in Kenya and all this. So please stay tuned and let's do this. So Katso, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
You look wonderful.
I'm always looking wonderful. It's always my weakness,
I wish when I grow up I will have the same weakness as yours. So yes, let's get into, before we get to the discussion, how is your holiday? Can you tell us something about your holiday?
I'm just here educating the public, instead of pigaing sherehe.
Holiday imekauka.
We are putting our audience first.
Holiday imekauka.
Maybe after this Ali Hyperbad killer will take us somewhere. The man behind the camera.
Oh, by the way, let's applaud my friend.
Yes.
And one is
Hyperbad
always
killer. Follow him on
shooting
TikTok,
things and
YouTube.
editing our stuff.
Yes.
Is it bad of the dege or just bad killer?
He's a bad killer.
Bad killer, okay.
He kills the music.
So, thank you very much, guys. We are doing good. We are growing the social media presence.
Yes.
So let's get into the conversation. Yes.
So today we'll be talking about charges, borrowing. Yeah. So we want to teach you how you can use your land, your house, your car to obtain a loan and grow yourself and your rights. Yeah.
Okay.
Generally.
Basically this is an area that is very interesting because Kenyans have got a serious culture of borrowing and loaning. I was just shocked that last year, is it Mengesa Fuliza? They made, or was it?
Fuliza and this other one.
Please don't mention the one that takes people to jail. We'll be
Okay,
sued.
I'll pass.
Thank you that you didn't remember the name. But if you look at Kenyan culture, people believe that you cannot grow without taking a loan.
Yeah.
And you see people driving big cars, you see people building up bigger skyscrapers.
Yeah. If you borrow wisely, you can really grow yourself. But if you borrow to treat us sleeping somewhere,
Like you.
like me, it can end in premium tears. Yeah. So then we're just gonna be taking you through the process.
So when you are putting your title in line, there's a lot that is entailed. So that's what basically we are going to take you through.
Yes.
So Akili, let's pick this.
So I'll begin by defining a charge.
Yes.
Let me use simpler terms. A charge is where you use your land or your house, your property, as security to obtain money from a bank.
Okay.
So you give them your title to hold on to it while you're still repaying the loan. So the bank will hold on to your title, but they will not take possession of your land. So you still retain your land. You can continue using it, developing it, doing everything with it, but you still have the money, and the bank holds on to your title.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, what is the process of registration?
Okay. So there are steps involved when borrowing from a bank and using your property as security. You cannot just walk into a bank and you're given money today. Yes.
Tell them, guys, I've land, I've houses.
Yes, there are these microfinances. I hear if you work there with your logbook, you get out with your money, Yeah. But that's not the process while you are charging your property and getting money from a bank.
Okay.
So first, if you listened to our video on disposal of interest in land, you understand the processes that are involved,
the due processes,
yes, that you are supposed to follow while
which is very
purchasing land, and whatnot. So the same process is followed while charging a property. First, you need to obtain the rates and rent clearances if the property is a leasehold, and if it's a freehold, you need to obtain the land control board consent. Yes, and if the property is a matrimonial property, you will need to obtain the spousal consent, because if you borrow from a bank using a matrimonial property and you fail to obtain the spousal consent, the whole process can be nullified, which is to the detriment of the bank, because the whole charge can be cancelled. You cannot do anything or interfere with the interest in a matrimonial property without obtaining your spousal consent. Yeah, we have seen instances where, and this has more to do with men, because when men are charging their property, they fail to bring their wife, they bring a slave queen, because you know in Kenya there's this come we stay marriage, so he'll just say, we do not have a marriage certificate, but this is my wife. This is my wife. You know, the slave queen will come. Yes, they'll sign the spousal consent.
Yes. And then do an affidavit.
That this is my wife. Then they'll go eat the money with the slave queen without the wife knowing. Guys, when you borrow, please inform your wife, because you can grow together, or your husband. Yes. You know, the slave queen will collect your money. Once it's finished, she'll go look for another one, you know.
Obviously, that's the job.
Yes, but put your family first. Don't borrow and fail to inform your spouse. Yeah. So you'll obtain the spousal consent, and then the bank will give you the offer letter. Yes. And then they'll prepare the charge. So I always advise people, use an advocate. Even if the bank has an advocate, have your own advocate. Have your advocate review the charge, because there can be clauses that you do not understand. There can be hidden interest rates, which you need to understand. So it's only your advocate who can explain to you the meaning of each clause in the charge instrument.
And correctly interpret the document.
Yes. So once you have signed the charge, both you and the bank will sign. So mostly the bank uses their own advocate, because it is in their best interest for their advocate to prepare the charge instrument. Yes, because they are the ones giving the money. And then the bank will lodge the charge for registration. Yes, it will be assessed. You will be required to pay stamp duty. So upon paying stamp duty, it will be registered at the land office. Yeah, it will be franked and registered, and an entry will be made on your title, which is called an encumbrance. Yeah, indicating that you have charged this property for this much. Yeah, so when somebody conducts a search against your title, it will indicate that you have borrowed against your title. Yes.
And that takes us back to the first video. Said when you are disposing or acquiring interest, conduct the search.
Yes,
now,
exactly.
The search will reveal to you if this title
property has an encumbrance, whether somebody has borrowed against the title and what not. Yes. So once the bank registers the charge, this is called perfecting the charge.
Okay.
Once it has been registered, then they will release the money to you. Yeah, so the bank cannot release the money to you until the charge has been perfected. Yes, which is registering the charge. Because if they make any mistake, like if they fail to follow all the required steps, this charge can easily be nullified. Yes, and they will end up losing the money. Yes. I know of someone, you can go Google, blind man collects money from a bank. He collected money from various banks, and he was working with people inside the bank. Yeah, so they could fail to do one thing while perfecting the charge, and they could eat money. They eat the money together. Yes, share the money. And he could borrow huge amounts, like 300 million Kenyan shillings, 400 million.
Wow.
Yes, you can just go Google blind man swindles like big banks.
Big
I won't
banks.
mention the names of the banks. You can go Google yourself.
So the point is somebody decides, let's flout a process,
Yes.
so that when this thing is challenged, okay, your name will be in the line, you lose the job, but
And the whole process will be nullified. Even if the bank goes to court to try and recover the money from you, he understands that this process was not done
was not done correctly.
the way it was supposed to be done. Yes,
So
the
basically,
charge was
there's
not
nothing that the
perfected.
court can do to help you
Yes,
recover money.
and the case will drag in court for years.
And the guy is still multiplying the money.
Yes, he takes the money, buys properties, develops them, he's very rich.
So even when
From swindling banks.
by the end of the day, even when the court will order him to return the money, he still has made.
But sometimes he gets away with it because sometimes they fail to register, like they just fail to do something on purpose. Because he works with people from the bank, and
He has he's got a whole network.
a whole network, yes, of doing whatever he does. Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you work in a bank, this thing will always come back to you.
Yes.
And banks keep records. A lot of offices keep records. So this thing, even if you are eating, let's say 30 million out of this money, this thing will come back to you, and you can be made to pay this money, or you can even be taken to jail. So
But what do I mean? What do I mean is going to jail? But I've made some good cash for
No.
myself,
It's really sad.
In our country, you have money.
But
you have
everyone is
justice.
hustling, we're not judging. Just be wise while doing whatever you're doing. Yeah.
Just be safe,
Yes.
be secure.
Yes.
Epuka aibu.
Epuka aibu,
Epuka
exactly.
aibu.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, that's the process that is taken while borrowing from a bank. So there's this stage, the repayment procedure.
Procedures.
Yes. So when it comes to
When
repaying,
you get now to repayment, you've charged the process, everything is okay.
You've been given the money.
now. So we are moving to the stage where now you begin
to repay
to repay the money. Yes.
with interest.
With interest.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you use the money that you've been given to do something constructive, something that really brings returns, and you are able to repay the loan. So once you are done repaying the loan, your advocate will prepare a discharge of charge. Yes, and it will be signed by both you and the bank, and you'll take it to the lands
The lands registry.
Yes, and the registrar will discharge your property. Yeah, that is to now remove the encumbrance. Yeah, indicating that you have fully repaid your loan, and now your property is free of all encumbrances. Yes, and the bank will return your original title. Yes.
Remember, all these processes are done at the land registry,
Yes.
at your sub-county level offices, where the land registries are, so that they prepare the documents. I'm sure you're asking, where do I do all this process? So to make it easy for you, entrust an advocate so that you can be able to do the running and chasing and wait for it.
Yeah. So there's a but. If you collect the money, then you decide to eat life with a big spoon. You get a Slay Queen or a Ben 10,
Or
and you
whichever
go
way
to
you
Malaysia
Yes.
to enjoy life.
Seychelles,
And the money is
Mauritius.
finished.
Yes.
So when the money is finished, and now you have no way of repaying the loan,
Yes.
there's something called the statutory
The statutory
power of
power
sale.
of sale.
Yeah, you remember the bank has your original title,
Yes.
and it has the right to sell your property if you fail to pay them.
Pay them.
Yeah, so this is where we come in. We've got your back. There are some steps that they're supposed to follow. They're just not supposed to
Come and to start saying.
sell your property
They come and tell you,
without informing
yes,
you.
brother, you took
Yes.
our money, you refused to pay, so we are selling your land.
Yeah,
There's
so
a process.
There's a process that is supposed to be followed. There are notices that you're supposed to be given. You're supposed to be given a chance to try and redeem yourself.
And redeem yourself.
Yes. So first, if you've charged your land, the bank will start. The Land Act has provided for the steps to be taken. Yeah. So first, the bank will send you a notice in writing.
Okay.
It's here.
Okay.
It will send you a notice in writing, and this notice will be informing you specifically of
the intention to...
No, not the intention. The nature and extent of the default. Yeah, in clear and discernible language.
Okay.
Yeah, in a language that you understand. Yes.
Not using a lot of legal language and confusing you until you say, okay, whatever they are saying, I don't know.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes. If the default involves money, the bank will give you a 3-month notice.
That is 90 days.
Yeah, 90 days.
Okay.
If it's for non-performance of a term in the agreement.
What do you mean non-performance in a term of agreement?
So let's say you are supposed to do something.
You are supposed to maybe make this payment within 6 months.
No, that involves money.
Okay.
Like this is if you are supposed to do something, like other than repaying money.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say you're supposed to probably build something or whatever. You are supposed to perform another act. Non-performance of a term in the contract.
Okay.
You'll be given 60 days.
So basically, this is
and perform that.
If you've not complied with one of the terms as agreed.
Yes. As indicated in the agreement. Yes.
Okay. I'm sure you've got it right.
So
they will give you
2 months to perform that which you have failed to perform.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the right of the borrower to seek a relief from court against the exercise of the power of sale. They will inform you of their right to seek a relief, from a court of law.
Okay.
So,
that since you've not been able to perform or you've not been able to meet your part of the agreement, we have got the right to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes. If you fail to pay the money, 90 days. If it's for non-performance of a term in the contract, 60 days. Yeah. So if you fail to comply within the 60 or 90 days, the bank will issue with another notice. Yes, this is provided for under section 96 of the Land Act.
So we are going almost, if it's non-repayment, almost we are doing 4 months.
No, it's 3 months.
3 months, then again.
So in these 3 months, you can organize yourself. Probably you borrow from somewhere else. You can charge if what you borrowed is below the value of your property, you can obtain a charge from another bank.
To come and discharge this one.
This one. Yes, to save your property.
So you charge and then to come and discharge.
Yeah.
So that these ones are able to pay this.
If you had not borrowed to the maximum.
Yes, and then you tell them now let's deal with you.
Yes, and then
again this one.
Organize yourself this time and find a way of repaying.
Or maybe if whatever you've paid by the time maybe you started paying and then along the way things happen and you are not able to continue.
You can offset.
So you are remaining with a certain amount and you feel like instead of these people taking my property and I'm only 1 million away, let me charge this with another bank. They offset this guy. Then I now...
You can even consolidate the charges. This other bank can take over this other charge from this other bank. They repay the money and then you continue repaying them. Yes.
So that
but for the bank to give you the money, you have to establish that you have the means to repay the money. Yes. And I wanted to pass across this message. This thing that I've seen happening a lot of times. When you're borrowing, the bank will want to look at your bank statements. So a rich guy approaches, like, there are these people who have big parcels of land, but they do not have the statements to borrow. They do not have a constant income that will support the borrowing. So a rich guy approaches you, he has the statement, and he tells you, we'll use your property. Yes. To borrow, and I have seen people being given money. This person will, and then when they borrow using your property and him giving your statements, they give you 10% of what they are borrowing. Yes, that's what has been happening, and I've seen a lot of instances where people have done that. So this person will collect the money. Let's say he's borrowing like 200 million. He'll give you 20 million. He'll go with 180 million, and then he disappears. And it's your property that has been used as security. Yeah. So you've only collected 20 million, and he has taken off with 180
so
million.
it's another simple way of conning you.
Yes, the worst that can happen to him is being taken to CRB, and your property will be sold because it's the security. So do not be deceived with quick money. If you have such a large parcel of land, you can sell, you can subdivide and sell part of the land. Yes, instead of being deceived into using your land as security.
Because this is another thing you must ask yourself. Why would someone having that money, the person has got, this is so rich but he doesn't have statements.
Yes.
That should bring questions to you because
no, he's rich with bank statements, but you have the land and you do not have the bank statements. You do not have the means of showing the bank that this is how I intend to be repaying this
But
loan.
a question again will arise, if someone has got this whatever, why is it that he doesn't have his own property?
Yes, because they just want to take advantage of unsuspecting.
So basically it's just a con man
Yes,
who's trying
poor
to
landowners.
take your land.
Beware. Yes.
It's not that he can't afford it.
Yes, he can
If he's
afford
got
it.
big account statement, why would he not buy himself land?
Yes,
So
exactly.
don't be deceived.
Do not be deceived. Yes. So let's proceed. We were on step 2.
On step 2.
Yes. So if you fail to comply within the 90 days, the bank will issue with another notice, 40 days notice. Yes. So and if the land is a leasehold, they will also issue this notice to the National Land Commission. If the charged land is a public land.
Okay.
Yes. If it's a lessee, or if it's a leasehold,
It's a leasehold or a freehold.
Yes, they will also issue the notice to the lessee.
The lessee.
Yes, or sub-lessee. And then if the child land is a matrimonial property, they will also issue the notice to the spouse if spousal consent was given. Yeah. So if you had a guarantor, the notice will also be issued to your guarantor. Yes. So if you also fail to comply within these 40 days, the bank is also supposed to issue with another notice. Yes, under section 15D of the auctioneer's rule, because you see at this stage they will engage auctioneers to sell this property. So the auctioneers will issue with the notice. Yes. And this notice has items that must be included. Yes, in the property. That is the selling price of the property, the date of sale, the place of sale. Yes, so it has to capture.
There's a lot of documents there.
And when your property is being sold under an auction sale, it should fetch at least 75% of the value of the property. Yes, there's this tendency where the bank plays the chargee, and they will look for a designated person who will go bid at a very lower price. So they take the property, then they later sell it at the market value. Yeah. So you as the borrower, you have a right to go to court and sue them if they do not fetch at least 75% of the market value. Of the value of the property, sorry. Yeah.
Now, what if the amount you are owing them, your value, maybe you took 50 million.
Yes.
And your land is 70 million.
Yes.
According to let's say the land is 80 million. So 70% comes to around, let's say around 65 million. So do they return to you?
Yes.
15 million?
So once they have offset your outstanding loan and all the expenses incurred in the sale, they're supposed to refund you any money over and above what was owed to them. Yeah, and if the property is sold through private sale, it's supposed to be sold at a price, at the market value price.
Okay.
Yes, they're not supposed to sell at any price under the market value. Yes.
Fine. Thank you.
Yes, so and you are supposed to know that when someone buys the property that is your property that is being auctioned, they get a good title. You will not have any claim against this person who has bought the property through the auction. Yeah, if you are aggrieved, or if you feel like the bank did not follow the procedure, the selling price was very low, you can sue for special damages or exemplary damages against the bank, but not against the person who bought the property, because they get a clean title. Yeah.
So if you have to sue, then you sue the bank, not
Yes.
the person who has acquired.
Yeah, that person acquires a clean title. Yes.
So if you have disputes, you handle them with the bank.
Yes. And also, you can approach the court for leave to be allowed to buy this property under a private purchase. Yes.
For example, we are talking about it's your land. The bank want to sell it for.
Let's say the bank intends to auction it. You can approach the court and obtain leave for you to purchase this property.
Purchase the same property.
Yes. If you think that you purchasing it will be beneficial to you and it will help recover the money that is owed to the bank, then you are allowed to purchase the property. But if you decide to purchase it through the public auction, you must be the highest bidder. You cannot be the lowest bidder and then you are there crying, this is my property, yes, I'm entitled to it. No.
It's
you
about
have to be the highest bidder, yes, for you to purchase this property through the auction. But if you can purchase it through the auction, why don't you just approach the bank
and
repay the loan?
And move on, and avoid all these shenanigans.
So this is my advice for people who intend to borrow. Before you borrow, have in mind what you intend to do with this money. Borrow for a good cause. Do not borrow to live a lavish life. Do not borrow to have a soft life, Borrow to grow yourself. Borrow and invest in something that will bring returns which will enable you to repay this loan. Yes. Do not borrow to spoil a guy. Do not borrow to spoil a lady. Do not borrow for a show off. Yes. Do not borrow for a wedding. Si lazima,
you can just
borrow
meet you guys
for a
and
good cause.
buy a ring.
Yeah, you can borrow to spoil someone if you know you have other businesses that you can use to offset the loan.
But why would you borrow if you have the money? Just
to
spend.
show us Laken that I can spoil you.
So
I
for
can
what?
buy you a Mercedes.
For what? After that? And again, this
so
is the
borrow
point.
wisely.
This is an issue. People borrow, for example, you borrow to buy a luxurious car.
Yes.
I don't feel it's wise.
It's not wise.
Borrow to buy, if it's a vehicle, let it be something that will generate
Even
income.
if you are taking a mortgage, let's say you are getting a house and using the same house as security, you should have means of repaying the mortgage. Because imagine making installments. Let's say you have been making installments of up to, let's say, even 10 million. And then you reach somewhere you can no longer
sustain,
facilitate
the loan.
the loan, and then they resell the house. Just imagine that the loss that you'll incur. Yeah. So always don't do things just to show off. Have a plan. Have a way out of it. Yeah. Don't just do things blindly.
Don't just do things to say, our boys must
and
know.
Borrowing is not bad. A lot of these rich people you see have become rich through borrowing, but they borrowed wisely.
They borrow wisely, you have a plan, you have something that you're so sure that this is going to work. Please don't borrow to bet. Don't borrow to bet.
Don't borrow to bet.
Some
you
of
can
us,
borrow.
You look at Sport Pesa, they've given a big jackpot, 294 million.
Like, I'm gonna make triple what I'm borrowing. Do not do that.
Don't.
Your
Don't
wife
borrow.
will take off.
Yes. Don't borrow for a deal.
And you'll suffer alone.
Yes, don't borrow for a deal. I remember this is a story. A friend of mine said there was a deal that a friend who was working in the government, senior government officer then, told him, you know what, the government wants lifts. So you need to. How can you be able to do what? I can be able to pull strings from this side, as long as you can be able to do what? To bring the lift. So this guy took a very huge loan, took this guy. They went abroad. Like this guy paid his, his hotel, his everything, and even paid him 1 million.
Right.
Is the one who is doing the deal on this side. This guy acquired the lift. You go there, you pay a deposit and everything. Only now these people, the moment you pay the deposit, they will work on the lift. Whatever you want them, then they are ferried, and once they arrive, you confirm they're okay. You clear. So this guy does everything, and then the lift has arrived. Now this deal has collapsed on this side.
Yeah.
This guy took a loan. Are you getting? So the guy, the government guy has gone missing. The deal is not materializing. The lifts are already there. This guy, he does not deal in lifts, so basically he doesn't know where to check the lift.
Yeah.
He has paid the other company.
It's really sad.
And it's
do
sad.
enough research before you invest in something.
Yes.
Before I used to sell mtumba, so I borrowed from Chama. I borrowed 20K from Chama to bring my bale, and someone was helping me to bring, the bale where you get a container with clothes. Yes, I was supposed to bring ladies' clothes, and I paid the 20K. And what was brought to me was virapa.
Character development.
It's very sad. Yeah. If you cannot travel and
just be very sure.
Yeah, be very sure. Do enough research. Yeah, better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. I remember that story reminds me of how I was caught. I saw a TV or these online things. I don't know what I took that day. So I just decided to pay the TV before arriving. I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for my flat screen, frameless TV.
Online buying is another topic on its own.
Yes, I'm just still waiting, and I'm still hoping that the delivery guy has not lost the direction. Though the guy blocked my life.
Yeah.
But just
it's good to be safe.
Just good to be safe and to be sorry.
I think that wraps up our topic for today. Thank you very much for listening.
Yes. Thank you very much. As usual, as we say, keep doing this, keep being with us, be sure, be safe.
God bless.
God bless you. Thank you.